about price,
Mm-hmm.
we already know this show's gonna run long, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
This is a special event.
Special events. So
If you just watched that direct, how would you feel about buying a Switch 2?
I'd feel great.
if I only watched that
I'd
direct,
wait.
yeah, sold.
Yeah, like I came out of that thing on, what was it, Tuesday or Wednesday, after I'm watching it on my lunch, being like, shut up and take my money.
Yep.
I think, hear me out. I think if it was just that direct and there was no accompanying bad news, possibly the best-selling console launch of all time.
You know, there's a case there.
It's got so much going for it.
Yeah.
If it was, this is a $400 console, and then this direct comes out, I think it outsells the Switch One. I think it outsells everything they've ever put out.
But it's not. It is
But it's not.
The price got out there shortly after.
Mm-hmm.
And it is $450.
Yep.
This is $50. And the games are 80.
Mm-hmm.
Or as some games are 80. So the way they are structuring this, similar to how at the end of the Switch Life, premium games like Tears of the Kingdom were 70 and most games were 60. It seems like they're doing a similar thing here where what they consider a premium game is going to be 80 and most other games are going to be 70.
Not only
that seems
physical copies for those games will in some cases be 90.
not true. That
Really?
was a rumor that has not been confirmed, and it was just somebody converting EU prices. So we don't know yet.
Right. It was a leaked listing for Donkey Kong at 90 euros.
Yes.
But for only the physical copy. So we don't actually have information that would be the case in America. However, I think it's actually reasonable that could happen.
By the end of this podcast, maybe.
So GameStop actually does have North American prices up.
Okay.
And physical copies are 80 for Mario Kart, 70 for Donkey Kong.
All right.
That's good.
We'll see.
Yeah. Unless something changes.
Yep.
So that's at least what we have now.
Yeah.
But so those are the prices, 70 to 80. In the case of Bravely Default, 40. Weirdly enough.
Yes.
So I think $450 for the console isn't that bad, man.
$450 is doable. It's the $80 games that I think is annoying.
Yes, I think that's what most people are upset about is $80 games.
Yeah, but $450 for what that console's doing is fine.
Yeah, like I was expecting $400, but they built in an extra $50 because of possible tariffs.
Yeah,
those just ended up being way worse than they probably expected. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Yep.
But those price announcements leads us into our first story. Nintendo Switch 2 Treehouse live stream is just a flood of angry comments shouting, "Drop the price."
Yeah, it sure was.
Really mad about the price.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tuned into that on my second monitor while doing stuff, and I would just like pop over and look at the chat. And man, they're still screaming about this, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nintendo's not addressed any of the comments about pricing. They're keeping tight-lipped on it. But gamers have always been really mad when you say make the game more expensive. People were really mad when I feel the first games that were coming out at 70 were coming out. There's a lot of games that got a lot of backlash just for having the $70 price tag.
People still bought them though.
People still bought them though. And so I think this is probably a lot of empty blustering again. Justified. It sucks that these games are $80. But I also am. I mean, what Pokemon comes out and it's $80? I'm not gonna buy Pokemon.
Right.
Not gonna happen.
I don't know, man. I think that games did not raise in price for, from 2006 to 2020. Right? I think that games did not go up in price. They went in price once in 2020, but since 2020, we had batshit insane inflation.
No.
And, well, maybe that is part of why this is happening,
But there's also I just want to point out, like, we have talked about how a lot of the game industry has gotten their money back and more with microtransactions and other things like that, but Nintendo isn't really a huge part of that.
Yeah, like Nintendo, and when Nintendo does DLC, you get a lot of shit.
It's usually a good value.
Like that. Yeah, like that Mario Kart DLC was 48 tracks, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nintendo has always been on, I think, the more morally justifiable side of the monetization scheme. They do a lot of, hey, we're selling amiibos, hey, we're selling extra merchandise. They really, really, really rely on IP recognition and brand popularity, right? Mario makes money not just because of its games. It makes money because fucking Mario. It's all over the place. There's a million things. The only place they're really bad about it is in the mobile sphere. Like on smartphones, their smartphone games are pretty much microtransaction heavy. And that's usually because they outsource it to another developer and they just go, all right, I guess take our IP and make us money. And they do that with microtransactions. So it's like, if anyone's gonna make the jump up to $80, the people I'm least mad about doing it is Nintendo. But the industry doesn't work pleasantly that, like, the people who earn it get to do it. It's like drinking. You go to the bathroom, you break the seal, and it's gonna happen over and over from now on. If $80 Switch games come out and people buy them, everyone's gonna go, okay, you can sell games for $80 now.
Right. And I think that, a lot of other publishers don't deserve that because they have these deluxe editions that are already $80 that are just cosmetic DLC. And you have Yakuza Infinite Wealth being like, you miss out on 2 jobs in the job system if you don't get the deluxe edition and things of that nature. Like Mario Kart's going to be a fully featured game and not have any of these issues. I think that my hope is that if that's what it takes and Nintendo's games usually come out polished and finished and run well. So I don't think $80 games are bad in the sense if the industry behaves the way Nintendo does, where you get a finished product that runs well with plenty of content. The problem is I don't think they're going to do that. I think that most of the industry is going to be what EA and Activision is, but now it's $80.
Right.
Yeah. Like the new Mass Effect game is going to come out, and it's going to be, I mean, I don't know if it comes out in 2025, but when it does, it's going to come out like 60% done, and it's going to be $80 and filled with microtransactions and day one DLC. And like, I don't know, I mean, Mass Effect 3 added the most important character in the lore's history as a day one DLC. Like,
yeah, that was gross. That was Mass Effect 3 Javik.
Yeah. Like the story. So I played my first playthrough of that game without that character. It like didn't make a lot of sense. And and that's the sort of behavior that will also still go for $80.
Yes. So, and here is my question to the people upset about this in our chat, and everyone here is like, is $80 worth it if you're getting a product that is finished, well made, has plenty of content?
I mean, for me personally, the what's playing in my mind with this is like, at the end of the day, for someone like me, it's not a question of do they deserve it. It's can I? Can I,
Yeah.
on the consumer
That's
end,
it.
support this? And for Mario Kart, yes. For Donkey Kong, I don't know. I don't think it's in the cards for me.
Same.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm glad that
that's
game exists. I want more of those games to come out at that level, and reinventing some beloved IP and all that fun stuff. But I just my money can only go in so many places.
Yeah, the
I
burden to make a good game is much higher now for them.
I also think on the consumer end, people are going to take less risks, like Aaron mentioned. Like if there's a chance that someone own like $70 games are already pushing it for a lot of people. I understand that.
Mhm.
Um, I think that in my case, I'm already taking less risks than $70. So
Right.
at $80, if like yeah, I'll totally buy Mario Kart. I'd even buy Donkey Kong for $80. But like if I see a game that's kind of like I'm not sure if I'm interested in it and it's $80, I just won't buy it or I'll wait for a price drop. That's just how it is.
$80
And
for
I
me is it's a Pokemon, it's a Mario Kart, it's it's a big release that I will definitely get a lot of enjoyment out of. But there's Mass Effect comes out, I'm not gonna buy that at $80.
Right.
no, absolutely not. Like I will buy Grand Theft Auto 6 at $80. I will not buy any of the sports games or Star Wars games or Call
Yeah.
of Duty at $80.
Yeah.
What do you think of
Just
what do you think of the conversation now? Like after this direct, like GTA is 100, right?
probably,
Oh God,
probably. There's already been rumors of that. Like,
it's
Well, right.
possible.
So the news that we covered was like the industry, people in the industry, which for people who are reporting news, that could be like two people, but one of them's a games industry analyst who put out a giant article saying some people are saying that hey, GTA 6 should be $100, and now this direct or not, and the news around it and all that, just like that makes that a lot easier for those people to try and like, all right, we should probably do that. If
If
there's a
you look
game
at
to get away with it, it's this
inflation,
one.
if you look at inflation in the past 13 years since GTA 5 came out, uh to make the same like dollar cost per copy, you're gonna have to, I think inflation's been like almost like 40-50% in that period of time.
yeah,
So you're gonna be selling a $60 game at 90 to be getting the same profit margin per copy. And I think they've spent like what, quadruple the money on making this game. So
yeah, well more. I think that in GTA 6's case, I think GTA 5 had a budget of
it was 500 million
265
something.
million.
Oh, it was? Okay, I thought it was 500.
Yeah, so no, you're thinking. I think Red Dead. Cyberpunk was 500 million all told.
Hmm.
But in this, so what that would be almost 10x the budget, right?
Yeah.
Am I right on that? Yeah. So like that's 2 billion. I think that GTA is such an outlier, though.
It is.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it is such a massive fucking outlier that it actually kind of pisses me off that it's going to set a bunch of bad precedent. Because it's like,
Let me hot take here on GTA.
uh,
$50.
Yeah. Yeah.
because they're going to sell so
$50.
many copies.
They're gonna sell so many copies, and they're gonna make it all back on the back end when the shark cards come out.
Shark Cards, GTA Online.
And they're gonna go, wait a minute, who fucking cares how many copies this thing sells when we make $200 per consumer on average on fucking shark cards? Get them in the game. Just get them in the game.
Right. Yeah. I mean that would be a way to go about it. I just think GTA just as a franchise is it's a popular franchise. It's a very good game. You could play GTA and have that be like one of your 3 games over years and be fine. And because of that, there's just no reason to drop the price at all.
Yeah, like you have to think that GTA 5 is the second best selling game ever. Part of that is because it's been out so damn long. But they think they can get the same amount of copies sold with 6 over that same amount of time. So I think that when you factor that in with 6, you're like, I mean, why not do $80 then? Especially because when we cut price, instead of being $30, it'll be $40.
Yeah.
And GTA is so big they can do that. The thing is like, how many games are Grand Theft Auto? It's a small amount. Probably whatever CD Pro.
Well, so that's the question though.
Sorry,
is publishers are going, or whoever's in charge of the price for these games are going to be like, yeah, we're totally Grand Theft Auto. We're definitely Grand Theft Auto level. And then
and delusion is a hell of a drug, and I think that's going to affect sales and make the industry shrink as a whole.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that what is going to happen is, if they're smart about it, I think having different pricing tiers for different games makes complete sense.
Sure.
I think GTA being $100, fucking yeah, that makes sense. I think that Madden should be $40.
Right. The title, it's small updates over a game that is largely the same year to year.
Yeah, I think that and so I think that games should not have a fixed pricing structure. I think it's actually really bad for the industry as a whole.
It's just it's about what they think. It's about the people making the game and setting the price, what they think their game is worth is always a good, like, I wonder. It's going to be fun because we are now reaching those levels of game prices where it's like, I'm going to have to make decisions, not even based on whether the game's good or not. It's like I have to split my time between the games that I think are good and that I enjoy specifically my tastes. I know Donkey Kong's a good game. I'm probably not going to get it for a good long time, if ever. So that's just what it is. And so it'll be very interesting to see like someone come out. I could see them making a brand new big Assassin's Creed game and they're like $90.
Yeah, I can totally see Ubisoft doing that. Just like I think that like if I'm Nintendo, the next Zelda game is going to be an $80 game. Like Tears of the Kingdom 2 or whatever it is. Like, yeah, it's going to be an $80 game.
Sure.
But if I was also Nintendo, the next Mario Wonder, I'd be like, yeah, $50. I think that having a variable price structure is fine.
That's fine, but again, it's about going up.
I think that you should make certain products go down. That's the thing, though, is like I don't think that publishers are going to do that in most cases, and that's unfortunate. I think that eventually it's just going to give way, because if every game is $80, like let's say that's what happens, because that's what happens when this comes around. It's just going to lead to more people being like, "No, I'm good. I'm going to play old games.
Yeah,
I'm going to go play." Like some games I am fine being $80. Yeah. Like it just depends on what game you're referring to.
It's just funny. It feels like it's adding to the problem of like there's going to be fewer and fewer games getting more and more players because I only have so much money. I'm going to be doing Mario Kart and then Fortnite and then just great, did it.
Yeah, and we already saw it was $70, right? Like.
I mean, each game needs to be more of a time vampire than it was prior to justify the $70 price cost. It needs to be a bigger, more consuming experience. We need
which that causes development prices to balloon.
Yeah, we need larger, more gluttonous frogs within this swamp to eat more of the bugs.
Oh man, yeah. All right, let's
just it's
yeah.
Our
next story, though, is that wasn't enough. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Our next story is Japan doesn't have it as bad because they will sell a cheaper